Welcome back to another first impression, this time for the anime Necronomico, the cosmic horror show. We have the synopsis from any list. We all need a chance to change our lives. The story follows Miko Kurono, who began her dream career as a live streamer under the name Necronomico. After graduating middle school, amid spending her days with childhood friend Mayusaka and rival Kana Kagurazaka, she's introduced to a new VR game project. Upon entering the game, the girls start pursuing the irreplaceable now. I watched the first 3 episodes and I feel like the show is fine. I like the concept. The concept is that we have these old ones. They came back, Cthulhu and whoever, and they are trapped in this VR game, or in this VR world, console, whatever. And to get out, they get people to come and play games in this VR game. Now, if the people win, they get money, they get wishes. You know, the old ones give you something. If you lose, the old ones take your sanity. And I assume if they get enough sanity, they can break out of this VR project and then take over the world. Now, I like the concept itself. Could be interesting. I do have my problems with some of the parts. But overall, could be interesting. Now, character-wise, the characters are not that well fleshed out. They are pretty one-dimensional from what we see. The problem is we get introduced to a lot of characters and they don't really have much time to really show much. It's like we have a main character, which is Miko. She's just angry because she wants to rescue Mayu. We have Kana. She's just there and is a cute high school girl, supposedly. They are pretty lackluster, the characters. Now, the games itself, we saw in the first 3 episodes 2 different games. Now, I feel like this show did itself a disservice with the first episode, because we go from the animation style. In my personal opinion, I do not really like the art style of the main characters. You see them here. However, I really like the art style of all the old ones you see up here and down here. Those are awesome. I like these art styles. They are cool. They are special, extra. They pop out. They are they feel fresh. Now, our main characters do not feel that good, in my opinion. Now, this is not the problem. The problem is that we go into our first game, and it is Fall Guys, which looks really bad. They decided to do like some 3D animation part. There's a picture. This is the art style of the episode, of the game, and I feel like this is not a good look. They have like the sausage fingers. All the arms are always at the side because, they are like blocky big characters. Did not like this at all. I feel like this could have, attributed to some dislike, because the next 2 episodes, they do not have this style at all. They are more normal. We do have an in-story explanation why they are now more qualitatively higher quality models in the show. Whatever the case, I feel like this could have led to some dislike of the show. There's another part I did not know about until I researched a little bit. It seems like there was some subtitle fiasco happening, which understandable. There is again some AI being used to subtitle stuff, which is, I mean, if people can tell, if you leave in that chat GPT set, is what are you doing? what are we doing? Now, I can understand if you translate Japanese into English and you do a good job, and you want to translate English into another language like German, Italian, French, whatever. I feel like you could use something like ChatGPT to make this a lot easier, because the translation should be a lot easier from English to some of these languages, because they are similar. Now, from Japanese, that is not going to work that as well. So I can understand why you would want to use AI to do that. However, you cannot just use AI. You do have to have oversight, and you don't even have that here, which is the biggest problem. I see there's by reading like novels or mangas, there are a lot of AI translations out there who just translate the stuff from or with AI and then just post it, and it's like, why did you not just look over the text once? I'm not an English speaker. English is my second language, and even I can tell, hey, this structure is looking shit. This is not how it should be. Just, get AI to translate it and then go over and do some basic QA. Someone who naturally has to be able to speak a little bit Japanese, so you can understand that some parts may be mistranslated. It's not that hard. I do not understand Japanese, but I have watched enough that I can understand what people want to say at some point, and I understand that this translation is not working. Now, again, there was a big, big fuss about this, understandably. I'm not going to judge anyone who is like, hey, pissed off, you fucked up. I do not want to support the show, and therefore we're negative against the show. Understandable. And, you have to make your voice be heard, and if this is the way you chose to do it, understandable. Good. But the ratings on AniList are at 51%, and my enemy list 5.51. And that is the point. I feel like the show is fine from the content perspective. We see the second and third episode. We get into the second game. We have a whole different idea of a game. This time it's like a tag kind of game. There are some stakes. People can get injured and or die, which then would, leech their sanity to the old ones. There is some stakes in the show that could be interesting. It is very vibrant. It does not, from the visual, it does not look like it could be somewhat grim. However, they do seem to have some grim parts. Now, there are a couple parts that are strange in the story. Now, one of the big setups is that a lot of streamers, primarily those that have over 100,000 subscribers, fell unconscious while streaming. Now, what we find out is that the old ones took over those streamers, or more or less, they took the sanity of those streamers in some way, or whatever. They did something to take their bodies in this virtual world. Now, how? I don't know. It never got explained. They just did that. But now they have to get this sanity from our players. They have to do this whole bullshit of getting people to join this game and then drain their sanity. We did not get explained how this part happens, while they were able to do something to people outside somehow. Additionally, why not just shut off the virtual game? I mean, problem solved, I would assume. Now we do get some information. There is something like a Necronomicon seemingly that got found and got integrated into this VR game, and it seems like that the old ones made a contract with the government, because this VR game, this project, this is more or less the government put these people into the you know, game, or more or less introduced the people to the game. The setup, very questionable in my opinion. I do still like the idea. So overall, I would say it is a 7 out of 10. Again, subtitles, there was a big problem. You do have to understand that. So if you do not want to support this because of that reason, understandable. Just reminding you. The first episode, did not like the art style change. It looked very meh. But we will see how the story progresses, because I can see it being at least interesting enough to keep going. But we will see how the characters behave, how the games develop. It reminds me a little bit, if I see these shows which have these games in which you have some potential big upside or downside, it always reminds me of Kaiichi, because I liked that show a lot. This one, not nearly as interesting at the moment, because we have these old ones that also change the rules of the game, which is always we will see how this progresses. It could be interesting. At the moment, it's fine. Again, it is marred. It had problems with the subtitles. I don't know if they persist, but you have to be warned.